The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, homegrown in Hatfield, Massachusetts, and providing energy savings for their customers for over 10 years. Learn more at northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Congressman McGovern will be back with us next week. He's busy this week hanging out with the Dalai Lama in India. I saw a photo of them touching bald heads together. Kind of made me feel left out, to be honest. Be sure to ask him all about it next week, as well as any questions you might have for the congressman. You can send them our way, thefab413@nepm.org.
Do you really need another bald man to be mistaken for?
Well, no.
Okay.
But I do want to touch the Dalai Lama's head with my head.
I mean, that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Get your ET on.
Yeah.
Later in the show, we'll introduce you to some of the fifth graders at Fort River Elementary School in Amherst, where their course of study includes organizing and activism. We'll hear what causes they are fighting for and hear some of the music they created to support their cause.
We'll also hear some music from a Northampton-based band called the Dirty Amplifiers. And by Northampton-based, I mean the AI bot used to create this song was trained on content surrounding the city of Northampton and was fed to the machine by our musical friend, Springfield's Scotty Swan.
But speaking of being fed,
we're literally witnessing an asparagus delivery here at Little Wall, coming in a gorgeous little wooden crate, delivered right back to Clara.
We're kind of at the end of the season of asparagus, maybe another week, so.
So if you're interested in having any of these things with asparagus in them, come sooner rather than later, because next week we might not have these.
This is my favorite type of local hero spotlight when we come to a restaurant, and this is one of my favorite styles of restaurants, which is a Chinese food restaurant. Yay. We're here with Phil Corman from CISA, the local hero, folks. And what's your name?
My name's Clara Li.
Clara Li, who you may know for many years as the person who was behind Great Wall in Florence. And now we are here in your new-ish shop, Little Wall in Florence. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. Welcome you to the show, and we're glad to be here in your new place.
Welcome to your new spot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your coming too.
Tell us your story when it comes to making food here.
Oh, that's long ago, more than 30 years ago. Yeah, I arrived to United States, and then I stayed in the New York City for half a year. Mm-hmm. My husband was here already, so he asked me, "You want to go to school here? It's a very nice school around here." I say, I don't know anyone there. He said, "You know me." So when the time we didn't get married yet. So I say, if I go and then I had to marry, you had to marry me before I move in. So we get married in New York City, and then I move in here. So I went to the school. The school is the language programs in Northampton. So I started learn English, and then I'm working at the restaurant also.
Yeah.
So
And had you come from Hong Kong? Or?
I do come from Hong Kong.
Were you working in a restaurant when you were in New York City?
I work for the Japanese restaurant.
Japanese. So then you can get some fusion cuisine going on there, yeah. And then come here to Western Mass to open what I think was a great Chinese food restaurant, Great Wall, not just a clever name.
So I'm wondering, were you the first in your family to sort of come to the United States and then you had to bring everyone else over?
Yes. My parents is in Hong Kong. And then we married, and then I had children 5 years later. So we had first child. So my parents came over to help us so we can open the restaurant.
Talk about the decision to open Great Wall, and then did you sell Great Wall to someone else?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then to open up this smaller restaurant, Little Wall.
The Great Wall I've been owned for 28 years. Mm-hmm. It's time to sell it. Yeah, because my children, they all grow up. They're far away now. My niece, my nephew, they all gone too. They all grow up. So it's hard to find someone to work for you now. Yeah, for special during the COVID, the 4 years. It's so difficult. And then we still open the whole time. We didn't close at all. So, and then we're getting old too. Yeah, so time to change, to do something smaller and little different, and yeah.
So I think what's so amazing is here we are at Little Wall, right on Main Street in Florence, and you actually have an adequate sized kitchen. But at Great Wall, which was bigger, you had such a small kitchen.
More room for Clara and a little bit less room for the diners.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to do like that way, because I don't want to be, now people change. They order more than take out than dine in. Also, it's hard to find people to work for you anymore now. I remember when I first opened the Great Wall, I can hire people from university, overseas for the student, come from overseas, Chinese, Korean, But now you cannot find that kind of people. It's different, very different now. They all have money. In the first time I hired them, they looking for a job. The student, they are really tough student. They are really good student. Now the student here, they're not looking for a job. They're looking for restaurant. Where's the restaurant? It's the good restaurant, have good food they can go to. So they're so different now. You couldn't find anyone to work for you from overseas now. So many reasons. So that's why I said, okay, time to change. So I opened a little wall. It's a small one.
So how has the menu changed?
I keep couple items and then I put some new item on it. So now I do like a noodles, from homemade noodles, some salad, like from the farm, the local farm here. We can pick up a lot of nice vegetable. So it's different than what I had before.
Talk about the farms that you're working with and what things the farms are growing that are inspiring some of your menu items.
Oh, there's quite a lot. Right now I use I couldn't pronounce this farm so hard. Burrow in Hadley, the Asperger's farm.
It's probably a Polish name and we can't pronounce it either. Oh, French name?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, Boisvert. Oh, Beauvais. But they say Boisvert.
But they're not. I can't tell them that they're not right about how they pronounce their name.
Yeah, that's
you
not
can
the
pronounce
French
your
way.
name however you wanna, but I look at it and Boisvert is not what I think. That's North Hadley, right?
Same family, yeah.
Same family?
Of the North Hadley Sugar Shack, yeah.
They're nice people, really nice people. Yeah, they delivered to me, and then long ago, the mother's still alive. I ordered the apple pie from them all the time. They had such a really good apple pie, but the mother passed away, so yeah, kind of sad. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I get the Asperger's from the farm.
One of the things that I've always loved about Great Wall is how much local produce you have and use and have for your specials. Why was it important to use the local produce in the way that you do to try and have your dishes follow the seasons?
I think that's really important because we're all here. We should support local business, and then people can get fresh. They're so fresh. There's a pick up from the ground, pick up from the farm. So sweet and crunchy. So this makes really difference. I sell a lot of local vegetable. I get a farm from Chinese people in Montague. This Chong farm. They have a lot of different kind of Chinese vegetable, bok choy, Chinese broccoli, watercress, so much. Yeah, so it's really good season right now. And then I get the corns from Hatfield, Alanco, right farm?
Galanka, yeah.
Galango, yeah. So they do the best corn there. Yeah, so good. I mean, summer here is wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. Everything is nice.
Are there menu items, Clara, from Little Wall here in Florence that you have adapted to have more of a Chinese-style flair, but with vegetables that you wouldn't have found in Hong Kong or wouldn't have found in China that you like to play with, like asparagus? Does that show up on a lot of, I guess, quote-unquote, traditional Chinese menus?
This is very easy because vegetable, we use a lot of vegetable in the items for the Chinese cooking. Mm-hmm. Like asparagus, you can steam them with chicken, you can steam them with tofu, okay, you can stir fry with everything.
Yeah.
They have really good flavor.
Yeah.
So not a problem. Any vegetable, you get them to me, I can cook for you.
Yeah, I love it. Are there things that you wish people were growing here that you can't get here?
I don't know, I didn't think about that because we have good enough here.
Yeah.
So, so I think it's perfect.
It's so good to be reminded, Clara, that because we have farms here and the harvests are coming in, that any restaurant that's sourcing local, you just start at a higher quality level. And the food's just going to taste better just because the ingredients are better. I mean, it just is the truth.
So your menu here is more focused on takeout, but I'm looking at your specials and you've got crab and duck and tilapia and a lot of
You
stuff.
get a whole roasted duck for
A
takeout.
whole duck. Is it hard to maintain a balance between the quicker things that people get in takeout and the larger things that are more fun to make for people sitting down?
Both, yeah. Usually when people order something big, like a fish, something, I would tell them half hour or 40 minutes. So they can wait, they wait. They cannot wait, they say, oh, maybe next time. They'll be fine, you know. But I try to get them more choice to pick what they like. And then we do little bit more different than other restaurants. Later, you can try the food my husband cooking right now.
I'm glad he's still involved. The kids might not be involved anymore, the nephews and nieces, but your husband, who brought you here, is still back
You're
there
like,
working.
everybody out, I'm just going to do this by myself.
He cannot retire yet. That's not a problem. Yeah, people, if they want to dine in, they say, oh, Clara, can you save the table for me? I'll be coming by 6 o'clock tonight. I'm going to have something. I say, okay, yeah, sure. And then other people call me, do you have the big table again? I said, no, I booked already for this. So it's okay. I mean, they say, oh, I can have to go.
So somebody has brought some food out to the table. What do we have here?
Dumplings, and they look delicious, and these wrappers look homemade, and I'm so excited.
This gives me a very brief opportunity to tell the story that I was not able to cover when I was on Cape Cod. In Provincetown, there's a dumpling shop called Kung Fu Dumplings.
Shaolin shadowboxing and the Wu-Tang sword style.
And their slogan is, I hate dumplings. Just kidding, can you imagine? And I think it's so funny, and I bought their t-shirt. And I wore this t-shirt, and somebody took a picture of me from behind at Preservation Hall in New Orleans. I didn't know who took this picture, but a month later, it showed up on Instagram by a social media influencer who is a model, and it started to go viral, to the point where Billie Eilish, the pop star, also shared this out on her Instagram several weeks ago.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
So I walked into Kung Fu Dumplings in Provincetown and was like, does anybody here know about this going on? It was just me and my t-shirt, and they were all like, we don't know.
If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this is the homemade noodle, pool noodle. My chef is working right now, so later maybe I can bring you inside to take a look, see how he make a noodle.
Oh my word, this is delicious. Tell us about the dumplings first.
They have pork and cabbage, some broccoli too, ginger and garlic.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, dig in, please.
Okay.
And what's in this?
Carrots and peppers, and it looks like yukoi, onion, scallion.
Can I dumpling it? Can I do it with the chopsticks? No.
You can't.
Dumplings are a little bit hard for me. When they're...
You get like right in the fold, then you're good.
All right, it's all about the angle that you get it at?
Yeah.
There we go.
The wrapper is the right thickness, and the sauce isn't too sweet. Like the sauce is heavier on the vinegar. Yes. Everything about this makes me very happy.
I hate dumplings.
Just
kidding. Can you imagine?
You like the noodles?
The noodles are so good. Were you hand pulling noodles at Great Wall or no?
No.
Yeah, so that's fun. That's a new thing that you've been doing here.
Oh yeah, totally new.
So there are two really good things going for these noodles. The texture is great, and you can see and taste the wok hei, which is like the breath of the wok. Like it's the smokiness that you get when your wok is hot enough and you get a little char on the noodles, which is a complaint that I have about a lot of things, and that's mostly just because like woks in kitchens don't often get as hot as you want them to.
Here's a question. Khalees, how do you know so much about so many things?
I don't know.
Uh-oh, more food. Oh, here's asparagus.
With tofu. Yeah.
With tofu.
That means you guys can't eat this.
I'm happy to defer to you, Phil. Oh, Khalees stole one already. So this is the asparagus dish, and then these what are they, sugar snap peas too in there?
Yeah.
And pepper?
No, this is the slow pea, yeah. Slow pea, carrots, onions, yeah. That's what he put on. Ginger and garlic.
No.
Very simple.
They're so good. You really can taste how fresh it is.
Since I moved here, and then I sell a lot of local asparagus this year. More than I sell in the Great Wall.
Must be all the good buzz marketing that NEPM is doing for asparagus lately.
With CISA helping.
Has the traffic to this location been like significantly different, or do you find some of your old customers coming by here?
It's half and half.
So I've never made pulled noodles. Is it literally that you're taking the dough and you're pulling?
Yeah. I will show you.
Now we're gonna get a behind-the-scenes tour of Little Wall to see how the noodles get made. Hello. What's your name?
I'm Julius,
Tell us what you're doing.
making hand-pulled noodles.
Nice. Who taught you how to do this? Clara?
Nope, I learned it in noodle school in China.
Whoa! Noodle school?
Yep.
Where in China?
Gansu province, Lanzhou city,
Wow.
the hometown of hand-pulled noodles.
Amazing. So walk us through the process. Right now, it looks like a large snake's worth of dough.
Yep. And then I'm just gonna pull it, fold it, pull it, fold it, and pull it and fold it 6 times, and then give it a whack, and then put it in the soup.
It's exactly what it sounds like. The consistency is so amazing, how rubbery it seems. That was a bunch of very quick pulls in a row, using his fingers to kind of separate them into the size of noodles that you want them to be. This is amazing.
Is this the type of dough that rests in oil, or is it? It does? Okay, cool.
Oil, yes.
He continues to pull it, and it's turning into like guitar string. Well, it's still not guitar string level. Oh, one broke, but that's okay. It still tastes good. Clara, how'd you find this kid?
I know him when he was little.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know his parents very well. Yeah, he's around here. Yeah, he's wonderful.
All right, the noodles are in the oil. It's water? Oh yeah, all right.
The dough rests in oil to make it more pliable when you're stretching it.
Yeah, that was so pliable. It was so fun to watch. And making more. Thanks for that noodle pulling lesson. It's like that's a major skill. The way that this magically appear in your fingers.
Oh no, it just takes a little practice. Anyone can do it.
When you're folding and grabbing, it creates like this neat little handle of dough that you then you continue to work and make more noodles with, because like there's enough there to make like other portions. You'll just go back and then roll out another log. And that is how our noodles got made.
Thanks again to Clara Li and her new spot in downtown Florence, the Little Wall, and to our friends at CISA, the local hero folks.
Up next, we'll take you to the Fort River Elementary School in Amherst, where 5th graders are learning the 3 R's: reading, writing, and radical activism.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
NEPM's podcasts are funded by Armbrook Village, offering research-based arts, music, fitness, and lifelong learning programs at their assisted living and Alzheimer's care community in Westfield. armbrookvillage.com.
If you've listened to the show since its inception, you may be familiar with the students of Fort River Elementary School here in Amherst, but the 5th graders get stuff done here at Fort River. What's your name, sir?
Tim Austin.
Teacher Tim Austin, I love to call you. And for many years, we've had conversations about the curriculum or the course of study that your 5th graders go through here at Fort River. What makes it stand out from maybe some other things other 5th graders are doing in other places?
I think the thing that's most unique is that it's student-directed. So the students start out by writing about the changes they want to see in the world, and then together over the course of a couple of weeks decide how they're going to use their time, what issue they want to work on, what kind of social change they want to make. And then they plan and design a campaign that they then run together to make change.
This, to me, in an era where people's opinions about even what history to teach in a school is a bold and somewhat controversial move. How can you find unanimity among a class about things to agree to become activated on together?
It takes time and patience. So once students kind of dip their toe in the water and start thinking about what kinds of changes they'd like to make, we have them take the time to just learn more about all of those issues. And I think one thing that helps is that we talk a lot about the ways in which the different issues intersect with one another. So for example, we'll talk about how issues of climate change and issues of poverty connect to one another, in that people who are often most impacted by climate change are people who maybe have the least amount of resources. And so once students start to make those connections, I think it becomes a little bit easier for them to be flexible in their thinking about what they could see themselves working on. But even then, it still takes, what did it take our class, like 4 days, I think, to come to a consensus.
Well, the Congress can't come to consensus on anything in 4 years, so 4 days doesn't seem like all that much of a time. But what if there was like a topic that the more liberally minded folks thought was controversial, and a more conservatively minded family in Amherst wanted to kind of put forward as a way to get involved? How would that go down?
Well, I think the most important part of this project for me is that the issues come from the students themselves.
Yeah.
We don't always have complete agreement from all of the families, but I think the thing that's really cool is that the experiences I've had is that families end up being supportive of what their kids are doing because their kids are so engaged in the work. It hasn't become a problem as yet.
It's not just your class here at Fort River, it's all the fifth grade classes?
Yeah, this year I'm really excited that we have the whole team is doing the project. My class is working on income inequality. One of the other classes is working on plastic pollution, and then we have a third class that's working on reducing fossil fuel usage by promoting bike infrastructure here in town.
And we would be talking to them, but what are they doing right now?
They are riding their bikes. Actually, they probably made it to town hall by now. They're making a presentation up there about their work and what they're asking the town government to do.
How has having all of the fifth graders do this project changed how it works?
I think it's made for some interesting opportunities for the students to support one another. So, for example, two of the groups held an event together out in front of the Jones Library. And originally it was just going to be one of the classes, but one class ended up doing a lot of the logistical work on it. Another class did a lot more of the publicity work. So I think it's made for interesting ways that the students can support one another. And they get excited about each other's work, too.
Well, the fifth graders who are here have been very well behaved. They've hardly made a peep. But let's introduce them to you. What's your name?
I'm Ian Kim.
Which class are you in?
I am in Mr. Elson's class. We've been working on reducing income inequality, and our goal is to raise the minimum wage in Massachusetts from $15 an hour to $20 an hour. This minimum wage will increase gradually by 2027 if we can pass one of two bills, Senate Bill 1200 or House Bill 1925, I believe. If we could pass any of these bills, the minimum wage will move with inflation.
When I was in fifth grade, if I had $20, my whole life would have been great. I would not have cared about income inequality. I would not have understood anything what you talk about. I barely understand it now as a grown-up. Tell us how your class came to a consensus about wanting to advocate for increasing the minimum wage to help alleviate income inequality.
Well, we had various topics that we wanted to choose from. After a long process of us making videos to convince our classmates to choose our campaign, we eventually landed on income inequality, and the main goal that me and my teammate were trying to enforce was to raise the minimum wage. So after that long process, we eventually got to income inequality, really worked out what we were going to do and planned everything out. We separated into a couple of groups who were all working on different things. One was working on publicity, trying to find radio and newspapers who would like to tell our story.
Success.
We also had one that was working on visibility, so we have a giant poster up front now that says Time for 20. It's pretty cool. We had one working on the event and one that was working on grassroots support from different organizations and people.
What were some of the other topics that lost out to yours?
I believe the final 5 that we voted on were gun violence, plastic pollution, fossil fuels, and those two kind of got grouped together, and income inequality as well as book bans. So we got out book bans and gun violence, and we had a final vote, and we decided to do income inequality.
Are you using ranked choice / instant runoff voting? Because that'd be another civics lesson to teach fifth graders how this works, and then maybe we can change how we vote in this country eventually.
It kind of changed over the course of the process. And we started out with sort of like a weighted vote. So I asked everybody for their first choice and their second choice, and kind of used that to figure out where people were at. And
so that is almost like ranked choice.
Yeah, yes. Pretty much.
That's good. I love it. Before we go on to the next topic, let's talk more about teacher Tim Austin and his fifth grade Fort River Elementary School in Amherst subject matter that the kids want to advocate for income inequality. What's your name?
My name is Hazel Lynn.
Tell us what you've been doing towards this goal.
My main job in this whole campaign was organizing the event that we had at the Jones Library. It was a huge success. Overall we got 750 something coins, and Representative Mindy Dom was our 700th signature. So that was pretty cool to see it happen.
Our 700 signatures are actually signed on little coins, paper coins, and we put them in a small piggy bank that is made out of paper mache. which took way too much struggling, and it was probably not worth it, but it is very cool now.
Well,
I'm going to tell you it was absolutely worth it.
You can incorporate other disciplines into this endeavor. Now you get the arts and crafts involved too.
It's also always good when people can visualize a thing. Like writing your name on a coin gives people a better mental idea of the concepts that you're trying to tell them. So don't think that it's not worth it. It's worth it. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh yeah, you got to send us that picture.
That's Mindy Dom putting the 700th coin into the pig.
And you'll be meeting with Representative Dom and Senator Joe Comerford about this issue, right?
Yes.
Why is this an issue that you care about?
I think just a lot of people in our economy say that this issue wouldn't be worth doing, but some of their arguments are that it would kick out small businesses in Amherst and it would just hurt the business owners. But really, we think that if you raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour, it would benefit the whole economy and not just the business owners.
Do either of you that worked on income equality think that your opinion about the topic changed as you worked on it, on the campaign?
I definitely think so. At first, I was thinking a lot about how the other campaigns would have been more easier to do choice, so I was rooting for those. But then after we chose income inequality and I got more facts and data about it, I came to realize that it was really important and it was just as important as all the other ones.
Of all the radio hosts that you've been interviewed by, who is your favorite that you've been in a hip-hop dance class with?
You.
Thank you.
Is that a call to make other radio hosts join hip-hop classes so that they can gain the popularity
No,
of
it's
school
just
children?
it's just me saying that I was in a hip-hop dance class
Okay.
with you many years ago. There are other fifth grade classes here focusing on other things. We mentioned the students that have taken a bike ride to Town Hall here in Amherst to advocate for safer bike lanes and reducing fossil fuels. But what's your name?
I'm Cecily Austin.
Wait a minute. You're Cecily Austin and teacher Tim Austin's here, and you guys look exactly alike practically, but you're not in your dad's class.
I'm in Miss Kamo's class, and our class is doing preventing plastic pollution.
So tell us what some of the things are that you've done in regards to preventing plastic pollution, or how you've been advocating for preventing plastic pollution.
Well, so what we planned to do was we set up a petition. It was this large poster board that was decorated to look like an ocean full of plastic, and people could sign their names on it, on fish that they could then put in the ocean and take out a piece of plastic. And they signed if they wanted to show their support for Bill S.570, which is a bill that will reduce large amounts of plastic in Massachusetts. And then we were also going to write letters to the Senate Ways and Means Committee to show them that we want the bill to go through. And then we also, it was a few weekends ago, we went to the farmer's market and we set up a table outside of it and collected signatures there. And then our main event happened on Saturday. We were working together with Mr. Austin's class. And
I call your dad Mr. Austin at school.
Well, it is a radio thing. So we were having a bake sale, and all the money we donated will be given to the Ocean Cleanup, which is an organization that takes plastic out of the ocean. The total that we made was $356, I think.
Nice.
We also collected signatures there. And then we're also having Representative Dom and Senator Comerford come to our classroom so we can present the petition to them.
And what's your name?
Isla Fortin.
And you're in the class that's trying to aim to reduce plastics?
Yeah.
Tell us how you've been involved.
Well, in the beginning, I was in a group that was trying to think of a date for our event that we decided to be at the Jones Library. But now, after the event, we've been working more towards other things, like getting more signatures. And also, like Cecily said, writing letters to the Senate Ways and Means Committee
Are these bills that your classes introduced, or are these bills that existed that your class is just advocating for?
Well, at first we found a bill also to reduce plastic, but then we found out about a bigger bill, S.570, that bill was combined into, and it reduces more plastic in Massachusetts.
So you're really just adding fuel to the fire of something that the legislature was already working on and saying, hey, the fifth graders from Fort River are behind this.
Yeah.
Why is this something that's important to you?
I have never liked plastic, and I often see it every time we're driving down the highway, or like I'm on the bus in the morning and I'm just like looking out the window. I see a lot of plastic, and I don't like seeing it.
Was it important when you built the project to do part of it as donation in addition to gaining signatures for the bill?
So you could raise money to help for the actual cleanup and also get signatures?
I think it was because for us, we didn't care as much about the signatures as we did about donations. Our class thought that donations were more important to reduce the plastic.
Do you both still feel like that? Nonprofits are, for your topic, a little better at helping than bills in the Senate?
I think we sort of decided as a class that they're both equally important, because with the donations, that will take out plastic that is already in the ocean, and then by getting the signatures for the bill, that will help reduce plastic from coming into the environment.
Fort River has been doing these types of civically minded engagement projects for several years. How successful have previous projects been? And are past students still staying involved in their communities?
Coming up, more with Fort River teacher Tim Austin and fifth graders Cecily Austin, Ian Kim, Hazel Lynn, and Isla Fortin.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, offering co-op advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card controls, all from the UMass 5 mobile banking app. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
We're at Fort River Elementary in Amherst, where the fifth graders, all three of the fifth grade classes, are advocating for different things. This is something that has happened frequently, often with Tim Austin, the teacher here at the helm, but I see that more classes getting involved, more fifth graders getting involved.
How long until you have the whole school doing this?
That's sort of the dream of me and our principal, Tammy Sullivan Daly. We actually kind of put this whole project together and have been thinking and scheming over the years about how to get more people involved. There are some other places that are doing it. So there's a teacher up in Pelham who does the project every year, and there are always some other students in different places that get involved too. But it's like a long road to get people to take on a project like this, because it sort of takes over your classroom for for several weeks.
And I'm sure it's not on the MCAS. You've now done this for years, so these fifth graders have gotten older, and now some of them may be in high school, some of them may be beyond high school. What is some of the feedback you've had from other fifth grade classes about being involved in some form of activism at a young age like fifth grade, and where it has taken them as they've gotten older?
It's interesting that you asked that right now, because I recently got the opportunity to see a lot of my former students all at once.
Were they arrested and in the Mullen Center?
No. We were invited to go up to the high school and petition up there about the minimum wage, and so I saw dozens and dozens of former students, and lots of them talked about projects that they had worked on in the past, and one of them actually said, I'm working on a project right now in my history class. It's similar to it. This is a student who is advocating for disability access in town. So I actually linked him up with Anna Paul's class, because it sort of connects with their bike infrastructure plan. So it's for me amazing to be able to reconnect with those students and see what they're up to.
How many years ago did you start doing this?
Well, the first time that we did the project like this was in the spring of 2019.
So it hasn't been that long. So these kids aren't like in college yet.
No, that group, they're juniors in high school now, because they were in sixth grade when I had them. But before that, we did a project that was kind of a scaled down version of this, where students would make a proposal to lawmakers. Actually, I think you came at one time when Jim McGovern was here.
I did.
But that was different because the students just sort of made this proposal and had this meeting, and that was it. But now they really get a chance to organize, and that was always kind of what we had in mind when we dreamed this up.
Do you kids who are here with us in a classroom at Fort River Elementary who are either advocating for income inequality or reduction in plastic wish that you were on the Better Expanded Bike Trails class so that you didn't have to be in a classroom with boring grown-ups and you could be out on a bike ride right now to Amherst Town Hall? Any regrets?
Absolutely not. Not at all.
Good. That's a great answer. I give you permission to have the rest of the day off.
Yay!
Are any of you, I mean, it's the end of the school year. Are any of you planning on doing any work with other groups that might be involved with your topic during the summer or before the next school year gets started?
Well, I feel like after school ends, I don't want to just drop the topic. I kind of do want to keep doing things because I have a very active neighborhood, and so it's a good neighborhood to like have stuff to teach people about stuff like preventing plastic pollution.
Any of the rest of you have any summer plans that include continued activism?
Well, I don't have any plans yet, but I do want to try to keep doing it, even if it's not with the same class as this year, because I feel that it's important and I care a lot about animals and the environment. And we're always going to still be making plastic because humans are like that.
But it's interesting because as individuals, you can change your own habits and lifestyles to try to reduce plastic. There's very little you can do as individuals to help income inequality except start a business and pay a living wage. But again, you're in 5th grade, so, we're not going to pressure you to do that.
5th grade is when I started learning what living wage was. We had a program in our 5th grade that taught you about like life skills and budgeting, where we all had to blanketly pick a job out of the Boston Globe, like sight unseen, and then try to live the rest of the school year on that income. It was fascinating. I'm really glad that I took that. I didn't have a choice, but it was still really useful.
Yeah, I grew up in a conservative part of Massachusetts, so I think we would have had the exact opposite experience in 5th grade, I'm sure. But it's great to get your minds open to these ideas and concepts at such a young age and to see how you're involved. I know, Tim Austin, that you've worked in years past on things like changing the state seal of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and these issues. Are there things that you've worked on where you've seen what the 5th graders have done and seen actual tangible change affected in either the state or the country?
Well, I told my class earlier this year that year was the only class that has ever won their campaign because that bill passed when they were 8th graders. We still don't have a new flag and seal. Right. That's still in a very long process, and those kids are juniors now. They were 6th graders when they worked on it. But what I've seen is not all, but many of those students go on to lead different student groups at the middle school and the high school or, elsewhere in their lives. And I don't know, I just get excited about the fact that the skills that they learn in this project, they can take and apply to all sorts of other things. That's the only victory we've notched in our belt, but social change happens over years and years and generations even. and it's sort of hard I think it's especially hard to see that when you're in 5th grade, but that's sort of part of what we talk about is that it's not something that happens because just one person stands up and does something. It's many people in many different places over long periods of time. It sounds like a Michael Franti song.
Maybe. I was thinking it sort of sounds like it's the arc of history is long, but bends towards justice.
We can hope.
In addition to all this activism that you've been doing, Tem Blest, who has been on our show both as a Live Music Friday performer and as an author for his incredible graphic novel, is also involved in what the kids here at Fort River are doing.
That man is everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Yeah. And he used to work here as an interpreter years ago, so that's how I know him. But he and I put together a program that we call Music and Social Change, and we got a grant from the League of Women Voters of Amherst, which has allowed him to work for over the course of, I think, 12 weeks with a small group of students. He's got 4 kiddos from each of the 5th grade classes. and they are working on developing original music that is tied to each of the class's campaigns.
Wow.
And so they're kind of working towards a performance they'll be having on June 13th here at school for like the upper grades. And I think it's been a really neat experience for the students, and it's something we had sort of toyed with trying to do for a while, but the grant from the league is what's made it possible.
So you're not only making papier-mâché pigs as part of the arts and crafts element to activism, you're working to make music and song with Tem Blessed.
Yes, exactly.
You've been working with Tem. How has your experience been doing that?
It's been good.
Tell us what you've been doing.
My class has been making a rap about plastic pollution, and it's sounding pretty good so far. It's been a really cool experience.
Are you going to bring any of the hip-hop dance skills that we learned together to this event?
Hopefully not.
Very wise.
I was going to ask a question about whether it's hard to put the knowledge that you have into verse, but I feel like there's no point now.
Is it hard to put the knowledge that you have into verse?
No!
Maybe?
Alright, yeah.
Yo. Coming up, we'll find out how hard it is to put that knowledge these kids have into verse when we hear the song the Fort River 5th graders created with musician Tem Blessed.
And while these young humans are still creating songs, artificial intelligence is creeping up on all of us. Our friend Springfield's Scotty Swan created an AI song by training a bot on all things Northampton. We'll hear the eerily okay.
It's eerily okay.
It's
I heard it the first time. I was like, this is kind of okay, but is this AI? Was my first question.
We'll hear the song from the robots next.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Here is one of the songs written and created by some of the 5th graders at Amherst Fort River Elementary.
With production assistance by previous guests on the show, author and MC Tem Blessed.
The song is called Give Us the Raise, and here it is.
Alright, yeah.
Yo.
Get it.
Alright.
Alright, yeah.
Yo, we suffer through these tragedies every day. Every day, all this tough luck is hitting us. Like hand grenades, we think we're doing fine, but we live below living wage. Come on, man, just give us a raise. Yo,
millions of people sitting on the streets. They're starving to death because they got nothing to eat. Whoa. We need to act now before it's too late, so we can stop all this to make the world a better place.
Hey, the gap is growing, it's hard to ignore. The haves and have-nots are forever in store. We're chasing the dream, but it's slipping away. In a world that's divided, we're trying to find a way. The 1% gets richer while the rest are worn. A system that's rigged, leaving us torn. We're demanding change and we're making some noise for a fairer share, another chance to rise.
We can't stop all the madness, all the sadness, and all the other misery that is hovering over us. Shoo away those clouds and bring up the sun. When you got no money, you got nowhere to run.
We're always tired, always fired, always fired up, and 15's enough. We say, no way! We need to raise the minimum wage to a healthy pace so people can pay for what they need every day.
Hey! The gap is growing, it's hard to ignore. The haves and have-nots are forever in store. We're chasing the dream, but it's slipping away. In a world that's divided, we're trying to find a way. The 1% gets richer while the rest are worn. A system that's rigged, leaving us torn. We're demanding change and we're making some noise for a fairer share and a chance to rise.
We can't deny the fact that we tried, yo. Is this low pay the way to save the world today? We need to speak up to all the workers out there and say, hey, this ain't no living wage, yo. Hey, this ain't no living wage, yo. When I say give us, you say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise.
Can't go on just living like this. If you think about yourself, that's a huge swing and a miss. We need to make some changes to the world out there so we can live stress-free without hate and despair.
The gap is growing, it's hard to ignore. The haves and have-nots are forever in store.
We're chasing the dream, but it's slipping away. In a world that's divided, we're trying to find a way. The 1% gets richer while the rest are worn. A system that's rigged, leaving us torn. We're demanding change and we're making some noise for a fairer share and a chance to rise. When I say give us, you say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise. When I say give us, you say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise. When I say give us, you say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise. When I say give us, you say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise.
I say give us. You say the raise. Give us the raise. Give us the raise.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
No, they represent the union, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was some of the fifth graders from Amherst Fort River Elementary getting an assist from the uber-talented Tim Blessed.
Thanks to those kids for spending so much time with us and
Yes.
putting so much creative energy into the causes that they believe in and to the music that they create. And I'm glad that real human beings, young human beings even, are still creating music.
Yes.
Because our friend Scotty Swan of the famous Swan family of Springfield, son of Ben Swan, the former representative, sent me a song the other day called Northampton by a band I had never heard of called Dirty Amplifiers. And it was kind of good, but my first question was this created by AI? Scotty used a program to train AI on all things that he loved about Northampton, and we're going to hear how that song by AI compares to the real song created by fifth grade human beings right now.
In the heart of the Pioneer Valley where the hippies roam.
I love the hippies reference.
Full of life and a vibe that's all its own. Northampton, Massachusetts, where the hotel Northampton stands tall.
It's not that tall.
Northampton. It's like Scotty, come on.
It's a place we all go. See what you want, but we're still calling no home. Talking about Northampton, where the music flows like the rivers flow. From downtown sounds to Pearl Street.
Downtown Sounds, Pearl Street.
Down forever. At downtown sounds, I bought my first Axis track. A strat to make some noise and crack the stacks.
I mean, it's kind of good.
Main Street feeling alive and free.
No, and it's
Has my Rose's place, a cool thing to shout because it's so paid.
Roz's Place.
It's a place we all go. See what you want, but we're still calling no home. Talking about Northampton, where the music flows like the rivers flow. From downtown sounds to Pearl Street, we'll rock this town forever. Unbanned place.
Unbanned.
At Pearl Street, dancing Lily and the Who's got the crazy moves, got the whole crowd in a sonic groove. And Angry Johnny screaming,
Angry Johnny.
clear. We're gonna rock this town for years and years. It's a place we all go. See what you want, but we're still calling no home. Talking about Northampton, where the music flows like the rivers flow. From downtown sounds to Pearl Street, we'll rock this town forever. So if you ever find yourself in this sleepy college town, just know we'll always be around. With the river playing on the radio.
Shout out to our old station. But wait for the last line.
key change.
I love to modulate.
Just for the sound of so bright, you'll find us rocking out through day and night.
I'm not going to interpret what that is out loud, but if you know it, know that it was AI and Scotty Swan from Springfield who trained that AI bot and created a Northampton-based song by a fake band called Dirty Amplifiers.
Yeah, you can find the song in its entirety on YouTube, and
if you go to Swan One Man Band,
it
you
is
can find that whole
hilarious.
thing.
But you can always tell from the vocals if it's AI or not.
How?
Like, because of the way that they overmodulate how it works, it sounds like super compressed. It doesn't sound like a real voice. And the way that it moves, because the melody moves like enough that like it ends up sounding really weird.
It's disturbing to me, although my first reaction was, is this AI? Because it's just in that uncanny Pioneer Valley, I guess.
Yeah, but there's always something like when you have things generated like that, in especially the vocals, that ends up sounding really like uncanny is the best word for it.
Yeah, but it was fun to hear all those shout-outs. At
It
first, I
was.
was like, what's this band I never heard of from Northampton with a song called Northampton?
And the thing about it is, it's also got like it's got an AI generated cover. The name of the band was AI generated. Like he went all in on this.
Yes.
And that's kind of amazing in and of itself.
Well, we'll have real music for you tomorrow on
Indeed,
the show.
we will, because we are broadcasting live from the Green River Festival.
In its first year under New Direction.
We'll talk to the person at the proverbial wheel of the festival's new course, John Sanders of DSP Shows, and hear what's changed and what hasn't for this year's festivities.
Plus, we'll bring you live performances of rootsy rockers The Nude Party and darling Americana quartet Twisted Pine.
So, looking forward to it.
I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Khalees Smith. We'll see you tomorrow on the Fabulous 413. Or if you're headed to the festival, come say hey.